everyone, welcome back to my garden. We are doing a garden cleanup today. I let the tomatoes go. I was busy just with life. I was taking multiple classes, a master gardener certification, a theology class, and I got busy. And these tomatoes, unfortunately, through our winter or rainy season, got blight. And so I'm gonna pull them out today and do a garden reset. Now, the problem with these tomatoes getting blight is that I really should not plant tomatoes here again next year, or really this year for spring. Blight can stay in the soil, and so if you plant tomatoes in the same spot again, odds are they will get blight themselves. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to rework where I put my tomatoes in the garden. So I've got my gloves on. I don't know about you, but tomatoes leave a residue on the skin when you really work with them. And so I've got my garden gloves. Normally, I would just cut tomatoes at the base and let their roots decompose in the ground and just fertilize the soil. But because of the blight, I'm pulling everything up, so roots included. And I've got to find the stem in all this mess. Oh my gosh, this is one tomato plant and the stem is over there, which is crazy. So let's head that way. One plant took up all this space. And these roots do not want to come up easily. I'm trying, y'all. I'm usually using all of my energy, all of my muscle. There we go. Whew. That was a leg workout. Oh my gosh. Let me bring you in a little closer. It is crazy. The roots keep going in that direction. Oh my gosh. Just trying to shake some of the soil off. All right, we're almost there. These roots keep going. I'm also tied up with the drip irrigation. Look at this taproot. My goodness. All right, so now to pull it out of here. It's also tied up on the trellis. So I'm gonna get some cutters to cut through all this. I got some pruners here, and I'm just going to prune and cut back. I'm just going to cut them where they have folded over the trellis. And now whenever you're working with any diseased plants, you want to make sure when you're done, you wash your tools really well. I'm going to clean everything with alcohol. Blight is a fungal disease, and so it will stay on the tools, and then when I cut something else, I could spread it. No one wants that. All right, now that I'm getting this out of the way, I can see much better. But I'm really proud of myself because this year my tomatoes did the best they've ever done. I've never had tomatoes go up the trellis so high. And you saw them, they only reached here, but that's because they fell over. They reached the top of the trellis this year, and I'm hoping next year they go over to the next side. That'd be wonderful. And obviously you see all the dried leaves kind of flying off. I'm gonna do the best I can and pick up as many of the leaves as possible. I know I'm not gonna get all of them, but we try our best to dispose of as much of this material as possible. All right, it also went in that direction, so I'll head over there and clean up as well. So I'm going to clean up this section and bring it to my compost. And not my garden compost, everyone. This is like the city compost bin. Make sure to not put diseased plant material in your garden compost. Some people say, you know, once the compost gets hot enough, all the disease and whatnot will die, but I'd rather not take a chance. All of this is going into city compost and leaving my garden. This here is another tomato plant, this little section here, so I'll wait on that. I'm gonna go get my compost bin and start clearing this material. All right. Back some more. The great thing about gardening is that you improve every year, and I'm excited to see what this coming spring and summer will look like for my tomatoes, because I saw such improvement last year. It's really amazing what experience it's really amazing, you know, how much you learn year over year. Like this was my second summer at my home, and I learned last year how hot it got and that my tomatoes really were struggling and needed shade. And so I knew that this last year, right? And so I put up shade cloth before they were struggling. And so they were really able to just grow so well, be so healthy. They made it through the entire summer. I was still harvesting in September and October. It's really the rains that did it for me last year. And so what I know for this year is once rainy season comes, I'm just gonna cut my losses, harvest what I can, and take the tomato plants down, because they just don't do well with the amount of rain that we get. It's not sunny at all. It's just cloudy and rainy. And so they never really get to dry out. And tomatoes do not like to be wet. Now even the fruits, you can see, are diseased and gross. The blight takes over everything. All right, this is looking much better. I'm gonna go around back to get the parts that are back there, but for now, let's get the root ball. Now you can see how much soil is left in there. I'm really not going to take that out because it will have a lot of the blight in there. So let me show you what else I have to do, because this is just one of the 2 beds. Now you can see this bed that I just finished, or I'm in the process of finishing, and there's a bed back there as well. So those are the 2 that I will be taking care of today and getting all of this material in our city's compost bin to get out of the garden. You want this stuff out of your garden, please. It might be tempting to put in the compost bin because it's close and easy, but don't put it in your garden compost. It's gotta get out. You've gotta clean your tools. I'm also going to wash my gloves because they're covered with this. All right, I'll come back when I'm done to show you the end result. I am so satisfied with how this all turned out. I still need to refresh things. I'm gonna put more soil and compost and then cover with more straw mulch. But the tomato plants are clear. The jute string that I had as a trellis of sorts between the 2 cattle panels I took down. So everything is nice and clean and almost ready for the spring. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, everyone. It feels really good to get so much done. We have our raised beds that had our tomato plants in them all cleared out and ready to be refreshed with some more soil, some compost, and some straw mulch on top. Can't wait to get starts in here in a couple of months. Hope you're all having a great time in your garden. Let me know what you are doing, what tasks you're taking care of. If you can, I know the weather's tough in some places, but let me know what gardening tasks you're taking care of. If it's choosing seeds, if it's starting from seed, if it's dreaming about your garden layout, let me know. Would love to hear from you in the comments, and thanks for hanging out. Feel free to click on the video above if you want to see some more of my videos. Like, subscribe, share, come along with me on this urban homesteading journey. See you in the next video.